classrooms and beyond. So in the teaching, there is an element of public speaking involved. And yes, in teaching, often you are teaching with the help of PowerPoint presentations. I understand that. So very briefly, I will talk about that. And more importantly, I will want you all to ask your questions, notwithstanding the late start. So I will go a little fast on certain issues and then proceed. Okay. So this I want you to take a screenshot of, though it is being recorded and the recording will be available to you still. This is the crux of what I'm going to talk to you about. The first thing about public speaking is, and since I follow national level strategy and international level geopolitics, I'm relating it there. Please see how top politicians of the country speak the same thing, nuanced totally differently. When the Prime Minister is talking in an election rally versus when the same Prime Minister is talking on the same subject at FICCI, the Federation of Commerce and Industry, or ASSOCHAM, or CII, versus when he is talking on an international forum like G20. The first issue is, who is my audience? When I teach this subject at executive MBAs, and I teach this in my corporate trainings, I don't only cover public speaking, I cover a whole lot of other things. But today, the topic given to me is the art and science. I call it the science and art. The science comes first and the art you learn. The science you understand and the art you learn. So who is my audience? How educated, what age group, gender, regions, language comfort, their biases. I'll give you an example. I was called for 5 days to a university in Himachal. Sir, please come and stay with us, conduct a faculty development program, and conduct 6 hours of training every day. It was very heavy for me. And the audiences were different, including one, there was a PhD plus MTech batch of biotechnology. So I have to reframe my topic for them. Who is my audience? If I'm talking to school children, I will talk differently. The second issue is, what does my audience want? The problem with some of us when we are addressing the public is that we tell them what we know in a weightage that we give it. The correct thing is to tell them what they want to know. And most often you will find Panditjis in mandirs making this mistake. The Panditji knows a lot, but he doesn't know, or he doesn't factor in who is the audience. Is it old ladies who already know the kathas? Or is it young modern people between 25 and 35 who need to be told the why of things, the rationale, the logic? Old people 55 and above, वो मान के चलेंगे. Young people जान के चलेंगे. उनको मालूम होना चाहिए क्या है, क्यों है, ऐसा ही क्यों है. And then the last question is, how can you help them get what they want? So the focus of your public speaking is the audience. This is the crux. The audience, the receiver. What does he or she want? How best can you give it to her? And therefore also your language. Even today, I will use 10% Hindi, just so that you get comfortable. And even if you have the vocabulary of a Mr. Shashi Tharoor, unless your audience is equally erudite. Don't use that vocabulary because it doesn't gel well with that audience. The second bullet, that main issue is to be a successful speaker. Now, this is simple from class 7, 8, and 9. Your English teacher and your Hindi teacher, essay writing, nibandh likhna. What did your teacher tell you? Every essay has 3 parts: introduction, main body, and conclusion. And therefore, in your public speaking, also divide your talk into these 3 parts. And even in your PPTs, we teach you, first thing should be a preview of what you are going to do. The second thing is do it. And the third thing is recap. In your conclusion, you go over the important points, whether you get them out from the class or you repeat them yourselves. So this second part should come very naturally if you remember your class 7, 8, 9, Hindi essay and English essay writing. And the last 2 bullets are, like, I'm feeling very upset for the fact that we wasted 19 minutes today, despite everybody's best efforts. And we will not go into that issue now, but the fact is, for your public speaking, I have always insisted, it's not only at my national level broadcasts. Everywhere where I go, unless I'm a regular and they have configured my Microsoft Teams, my WebEx, my Google Meet, my Adobe, my Zoom to their configuration. And every, like, 4 hours a week, I'm teaching at SRM University, Chennai. So I don't need a rehearsal with them. We've done one in the beginning. They've configured, they put in their passwords. I give them remote control of my laptop. Everywhere else, I do a rehearsal. Because time, it would have been good if I would have been in this shape 2 minutes before 9. And my apologies once again for that. You please don't do this mistake. Please do your rehearsal in the live circumstance with the IT controller, not necessarily with the host. So please ask. You are the host, you are a big person. Who is the man or woman who is looking after the IT aspect? Let me do the rehearsal. And the last point is first impressions matter. So today's first impression has been bad. Who is the speaker who can't come in time? You're not bothered that I have been on it from 8:30 and Dr. Jyoti Tiwari ma'am has also been on it trying her best. So the first impression is bad. It would have been good if at 9 o'clock I would have been there, she would have started the introduction and gone through. So first impressions matter. Also on first impressions are your dress, your body language, and the silent friendships that you make. When you go and address large, heterogeneous, unknown people, say, for example, as teachers, when you're going for your internship, you will be asked to take a demo class. In the demo class, the students are unknown to you, and there will be certain faculty sitting behind assessing you whether you are good enough to join them, their college as a teacher. So your first impressions, whether it is your dress, whether it is your body language, whether it is general friendliness. So this is the crux of what I'm going to tell you. And remember, on this entire subject of communication, I teach this over 30 hours in certain programs, over 12 hours in the executive programs, and we are going to cover the public speaking part of it today. But you're open to ask me anything on communication, anything, and I will try and leave some time for it. Now, read through the whole thing, note the points in blue. सर, मुझे स्पीच पूरी याद थी, पर जब मैं बोलने लगी, मेरा हलक सूख गया और मेरे होंठ सूख गए और सर वो वॉश आउट हो गया सर। एक तो मेरा कंप्यूटर नहीं चला, जैसे आपका नहीं चला था सर हमारी क्लास में, मेरा भी नहीं चला, मेरा बीपी हाई हो गया, मैं सब भूल गई सर, पूरा याद करके आई थी सर। इतने लोग सामने बैठे, इतना बड़ा हॉल, ऐसे हो गया, स्टेज फ्राइट। And the only answer for stage fright is practice, practice, practice. And here I will mention three things. Please note them down on your mobiles, on your laptops, or on your notebooks. I will mention three words: thought content, thought clarity, and thought articulation. So when you are practicing, first is the thought content. What are the key issues I will speak on? What are the facts, figures, logic, rationale within each fact? India was a great country and is becoming great again. Good statement. So India was a great country. What are the facts, figures? In so and so year, 25% of the world GDP was generated from India. It came down to 20%. And India and China were the topmost. So I'm giving facts and figures. It is rising again. So give the facts and figures now. The second part is thought clarity. In thought clarity, typically, since I also used to go on TV for 2-3 years, I went about 200 times I was on TV, all the channels, and then I said it is enough. बहुत मजे कर लिए, बहुत पैसे कमा लिए. It used to take too much of my mind space, and the TV, you have very little time to discuss something serious. Thought clarity comes in there. मैं कब क्या बोलूं? And public speaking, one is the way I am speaking to you, where you as a disciplined lot of B.Ed students are not interrupting. But you will speak at audiences where people will interrupt. Sometimes even in your classrooms, शरारती बच्चे होंगे और वो ma'am, what about this ma'am? So you have to have thought clarity to prioritize the 7-8 facts. Good question, so and so. I will answer it after I complete this. Or let me quickly answer it now. You will choose a way without losing your chain of thought. So that is thought clarity, which means to prioritize what to say when and keep the audience on your friendly side. तुमको इतना भी नहीं मालूम? कैसे बच्चे हो तुम? होमवर्क नहीं करके आते और उल्टे पुल्टे सवाल पूछते हो? Not a thing to say. You may feel so, but not a thing to say. And the last is thought articulation. Remember, communication is language independent. Communication is language independent. I want to convey something from my mind to your mind. Language is a medium. Whilst it is very good if you are good in English, and it is required as you go into sophisticated circles which measure your competence in part by your fluency in English, that is a reality. But fundamentally, look at Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee and look at the host of speakers from South India who are fantastic public speakers. But they may not be very good in English. Now, when you are speaking in English, which will be often, articulation, never mind if you have a South Indian accent, a Bihari accent, a Bengali accent, Punjabi accent. For police, you say pulse. Koi pulse nu bula raha hai? Pulse. And if you're a Maharashtrian, you will say police. And if you're a South Indian, for Dubai, you will say Thubai. My uncle got very angry, you know. He was from Thubai. Doesn't matter. What matters is if you're speaking in a language, are you able to convey? You look at Dr. B.M. Hegde. He is a Padma Bhushan, if I remember. Very famous doctor of India. Mr. Modi is also a fan of him. He speaks with a strong South Indian accent. Dr. B.M. Hegde. And you will find about 1,000 videos of his on YouTube. Very knowledgeable man. So articulation is not only about accent. Because if you're speaking, content is good, your accent doesn't matter, but no pauses. What happens is your brain takes a pause. You cannot speak in English as fast because the brain is thinking in Hindi, translating, and then speaking in English. So what happens? सर मेरा मतलब ये है सर मैं ये कह रहा था सर यानी कि सर तो ये what is happening? I am giving pauses to allow my brain's translation to catch up. The answer is to just speak slower or pause. Don't use these fillers. So thought content, thought clarity, and thought articulation, and then practice, practice, practice. Stage fright will still be there. Now what? I will give you 2-3 suggestions which I have followed for the last 25 years. I'm 63 years old. I retired from the army 7-8 years ago after doing 36 years of service. Even now, even when speaking to bachas, see what I have got with me. What sukhega? I have no shame in applying it. And because I'm teaching, I'm showing it to you. What have I got? Gala sukhega, pani. What have I got? Gunguna pani. So all the things that I need are with me. Stage fright, if you recognize it, हाँ थोड़ा तो दुख होगी, ठीक है ना. मैं पूरा पढ़ के लिख के सोच के कंप्यूटर भी चला गया तो मेरे पास 5 पॉइंट लिखे हुए हैं, मोबाइल पे पढ़ दूंगी, पर्ची पे भी लिख लिए मैंने, पढ़ दूंगा. उनको देख के मैं पूरी अपनी 20 मिनट की प्रेजेंटेशन कर दूंगा. अगर पीपीटी ना चले, no problem. The second part is what I want you to understand. This is high level stuff. What is the purpose that I'm talking? Why did I show you my Boroline? Do I show it everywhere? No. But you are students who are learning public speaking. So I'm proving it to you that maybe after 10,000 hours of public speaking, I still have these things handy. So what are you speaking to your audience for? If you are a Navjot Singh Sidhu or Thokotali, if that is the intention ki, अरे यार हंसा दिया बंदे ने, पेट में दर्द हो गया यार हंसते हंसते, मजा हो गया. That is one aim. The other aim is the person gave us so much of information we didn't know. Example, Pushpendra Kulshrestha. If you Google him on YouTube or on the news channels, and he has his own channel also, he is pro-India and he knows the history of India better than so many professors, the political history and the ancient history, everything. And the third one, an example I can give you is Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi. He is a walking encyclopedia. And the moment you hear him 50, 60 times, you still find, यार एक नई बात आई सामने, एक नई बात आई सामने. Even I don't know some of those things. That the biggest physics research laboratory of the world, which is at CERN, 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 Switzerland, has got the Nataraj, Shivji ki huge statue in the main place of the laboratory. Because in physics, the cosmic destruction and creation is best represented by शिव जी का तांडव नृत्य. And that is why Nataraj. I had read this earlier and I had taken a photo, but it stuck in my mind when I heard Sudhanshu Trivedi talking about it. Inform. The third is to inspire. All good teachers, generals, political leaders inspire you. One example, Mr. Subhash Chandra Bose, Netaji of the Indian National Army, 23rd January was his birth anniversary, which now the Republic Day celebrations have been preponed by one day so that his 23rd January birth anniversary can be part of it. And he is now put under the canopy of Amar Jawan Jyoti ke bagal, that empty canopy which had King George V statue for till 1968, 20 years, 21 years after independence, we still had the King of England who were our masters, we were their slaves. So inspiration. Don't you remember your some school teachers? Yeah, I was an average child, but so-and-so sir, so-and-so ma'am, she was like a mother to me. I could speak anything to her. And she really got my interest in chemistry or in physics or in English literature or whatever. They inspire you. Yeah, should I invest in stocks or should I go for mutual funds now that I'm earning a little? Or should I keep it in FDs? Or should I save up and buy some land? So your next aim of talking could be to convince or persuade. In your context, I'm happy to share with you that I was able to persuade one of your faculty to do her PhD. बहुत रोना धोना. Then I used to show that I'm getting angry. I said, you are capable of doing it. You are running away. You are not worth it. You will not be my friend. The good news is 4 years later, today that lady is a PhD, Dr. So-and-so. She is no longer with your institute though, so I can tell you that. So what was the purpose of the communication?
Good morning,
Dr.
sir.
Jyoti Tiwari is laughing. Good morning.
Sir,
Good
are you
morning.
talking about Dr. Pratibha Garg, ma'am?
I will not commit, but well, since I've explained things and you seem to know her,
Yes,
the
sir.
point I'm making is when I talk to youth about relationship issues, about self-discipline, about the need for deferred gratification, आज मेहनत करेंगे 4 साल नींव बनाएंगे मजबूत, उसके बाद घर 1 मंजिला बनाए, लेकिन नींव ऐसी है कि 6 मंजिला घर जैसे जैसे पैसे मिलेंगे बनाएंगे. These are the examples I give. सर आपने तो ये बोल दिया कि मेहनत पसीना आज बहेगा, लड्डू 4 साल बाद. पहली बार किसी ने ये बोला है सर. सब तो बोलते हैं अभी लड्डू खाओ, अभी स्वाद लो, ये गोली खाओ वजन कम, ये गोली खाए गोरी चमड़ी, फेयर एंड लवली. There's a lot of hard work. Look at any top athlete. Look at any top film star. Look at any successful person in any field. There is a lot of sacrifice. So when you are speaking, sometimes the aim is to motivate, to persuade, to convince. Dekho, like when I train officers of 3 ministries. Plus I go to police academies because I was the security advisor of the country, as the first slide showed. साला मैं तो साहब बन गया, सरकारी नौकरी लग गई, अब तो दहेज भी अच्छा मिलेगा, शादी भी अच्छी होगी, साला मैं तो साहब बन गया. Life is not 100 meters. Life is a marathon. So I persuade them. If you're a teacher, please, at a certain stage of your life, you must go for a PhD. You must, if you're in the teaching profession. You must write articles even now. Publish them in your college journal. Tomorrow, some faculty will guide you to get it published in a higher form journal. Publish it on your LinkedIn. You are marketing your professional skills. So the aim of talking could be to do any of these things. And depending on that aim, the way you speak, the examples you give, and what you spend time on during your speech will change. Okay. So every speech has 3 parts. This I have covered. Rehearse exactly as you wish to deliver. Now, what happened in school? Mama, tomorrow I have to read the news in assembly. Class 6 child. तो मम्मी ने उसको न्यूज रटवा दी. बच्चा स्टेज पे पहुंचा, full assembly, all the teachers, principal ma'am, everybody is there. बच्चे ने राजधानी के स्पीच से जितनी बोल पाया बोली 2-3 सांसों में और स्टेज से भाग गया. ऐसा होता है कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
The reason is that bacha has rehearsed that speech. A lot of your cameras are off. Why don't you switch them on? So you have to rehearse your speech in conditions as close to actual. In conditions as close to actual. I will give you a couple of my international speaking assignments. I was called to a country like Seychelles to speak at the National Institute of Management. So I went a day early. I had rung up the director. He was a Britisher. He said, no problem, sir. You please come. What is the specific thing? I said, well, I actually want to have a look at the hall where I will be speaking, because it is possible that all the top people of the government are there, and of course your top people of your institute will be there. So I want to understand the layout. He said, well, if you want to come, nobody normally comes like this, but we don't have a problem. So I went. So now I understand. Another example, I was called by NATO. Please come to Turkey and speak on Kashmir. Now, Turkey is pro-Pakistan. And who was my co-speaker? The former Defense Secretary of Pakistan, who was the former DG ISI, retired Lieutenant General. Turkey is pro-Pakistan, and Kashmir, and my co-speaker is former Pakistan Defense Secretary. It's a tough speech. 25 minutes I had to speak. So what I reached there from India, we flew down via Qatar to Turkey. 10 o'clock at night, I finally reached the hotel. So I said, stuff and all, let the bellboy take it to the room. I am going to the basement. It was a 5-star hotel, a new 5-star in Ankara. He said, I said, my event is tomorrow. I am the first speaker. So I went down. Now it's a hall for 700 people. And on the 2 sides outside the hall, they have got huge TV screens, that 15 feet by 10 feet types. So if there are more public, they can sit outside. This dais can take 50 people, 50, but there are only 4 chairs with a see-through table. The tablecloth is short. So if your legs are shivering with fear, the public can see it.
Sir,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, sir. We have to rejoin, sir.
Okay. So I'm cutting it here. Let's all rejoin with the same link, Shubham?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So to resume, when I reached that hall, I told you 700 audience, outside 2 huge screens, dais for 50 people with only 4 chairs, me, the Pakistan Defense Secretary, 1 host and 1 more senior person of the organizing team. This was NATO's Center of Excellence for Counterterrorism. Now, when I went there, I made friends. I realized that I am on the right side of the dais. It's a long dais, and the IT is on the left side. So my thing will be connected by laptop, will be connected with them. but I can't speak with them. They said, you give us your presentation on this thing. So when you see the site in your mind, when you rehearse, close your eyes, imagine, okay, I am in front of this classroom or this university, this hall. So the audience is actually a little lower and the front 2 rows have the VIPs. I should eye contact there. I should also have eye contact. Oh, there is a balcony also. If the hall is full, the balcony will be occupied. I should also look at the dais, which is people are sitting on my left side or on my right side, wherever. So the point I'm making is, ये जो स्कूल की assembly में बच्चा भाग जाता है, and I have tried this out and I have got the feedback within my colony with certain teachers. I do teacher training also. If you tell this to the child, you take a Google image of a large class, इसको सामने रखो, अपनी स्कूल की असेंबली को मन में उसकी छवि रखो और तब स्पीच बोलो. शीशे के सामने खड़े होके बोलते थे पहले, टुडे तो you have got your mobiles with recording systems. And then don't be serious. I'll give you an example. One teacher had told these little girls, class 3 girls, who were doing a dance show, Kathak. चेहरे पे हंसी होगी. उस बच्ची का कोई स्टेप रॉन्ग हो गया. सिचुएशन वाज कि एक बूंद टपक रही है, लेकिन चेहरे पे टीचर ने बोल रखा है हंसते रहना. यहां से आंसू और यहां पर चिपकाई हुई हंसी. The point I'm making is you have to practice this, and then it becomes natural to you. Initially, it will take practice. And then, of course, with thought content and thought clarity and thought articulation, and then with knowing your audience, you will be able to do it. So rehearse your speech exactly the way you want to deliver it. सर मैंने स्पीच का रट्टा लगा लिया, एक बार शुरू होगा तो फुल स्टॉप कंक्लूजन के एंड पे ही करूंगा, बीच में लाइट चली गई, सर वॉश आउट हो गई मेरी स्पीच. सो प्लीज, you should know I have got 5 main points which are also there with me in some alternate place, and I have got the facts and figures that I want to talk in each of those points. And that is why I was telling Jyoti ma'am in the morning that I require 10 minutes before I speak to do just this. अच्छा तो मैं ये करूंगा, तो मैं ये करूंगा, तो मैं ये करूंगा. That is what is required. Okay. Now, when you are speaking, I just covered the first point. When you write differently. When you speak differently. Now see how I'm speaking. If I have to read out a speech, don't memorize your speech verbatim. If you do not memorize it perfectly, you will stumble or worse, forget. Even if it is a well memorized, you have to recall each word as it comes. This preoccupation makes your words sound rehearsed. सुनने में मजा आया? नहीं आया. क्यों? I was reading it. When you speak naturally, you speak with your eyes, your hands, your pauses, your tone, inflection, pitch, all these things you would have studied in your communication issues. And for heaven's sake, don't read a speech. Refer to it to get a heading. And this I have just covered. Rehearse in conditions as close to actual. And the last point is what I've told you. It takes training and practice. Tell me, साइकिल चलाना कैसे सीखा था? सर बड़े भैया ने सीट पकड़ ली, हमने ऐसे ऐसे किया, हैंडल बार हमने यूं पकड़ लिया और 4-5 बार में हमने तो सीख ली. हम तो कभी नहीं लड़खड़ाए और कभी नहीं गिरे. कोई है ऐसा? कभी नहीं लड़खड़ाए, कभी नहीं गिरे और साइकिल चलाना सीख लिया? सर भैया थे ना साथ, वेरी डिफिकल्ट. और स्विमिंग कैसे सीखी? सर यूट्यूब में 5-6 वीडियोस देखे, हाथ ऐसे चलाने हैं और पैर ऐसे मारने हैं, बस स्विमिंग सीख ली हमने, बिना शरीर गीला किए, बिना किसी नदी, नाले, नहर, कनाल, तालाब या स्विमिंग पूल में घुसे, बिना प्रैक्टिस किए, बिना एकाध करके पानी पिए. Can you learn swimming? It requires practice. Same thing for horse riding. It is quite possible that you will fall. So they teach you falling, how to fall. So this is an experiential thing. And yet when your teachers ask you, who is a volunteer? यार मैं अपनी शक्ल टेबल के नीचे ही छुपा लूं, कहीं मेरा नाम ना आ जाए, ये बाकी बेवकूफ बोले, हम तो सुनने में रहेंगे. तो अच्छा बोलना भी वही सीखेंगे. और बाद में आप कहोगे नहीं नहीं भाईबंदी हो गई, मेरे को तो ये प्राइज नहीं मिला, मेरे को तो ये अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली, दूसरे कॉलेज में जाके बोलने की अपॉर्चुनिटी उसको मिल गई. तो जो आपको अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल रही थी, आप तो डुबकी मार रहे थे. Please take every opportunity to practice. And that is what we tell right from school onwards, this business of reading the news in the assembly, speaking the news, debates, declamations, it is all for this. What happens is, 5-7 बच्चों का नाम निकल जाता है, हिंदी declamation debate में ये अच्छे हैं, English में ये, and the others withdraw. Don't withdraw. It is never too late to start. I train chartered accountants also, and I have been making them speak. Now, as teachers, you will have to speak often with a PPT. So I want to show you 2 slides, which are PPT, Microsoft PowerPoint related. So I've already told you, see the venue beforehand, which side is your lecture stand, how is the IT, is there a remote to handle? I have my own. But if you have to use the remote, you should be comfortable using it. Now check the lecture stand. A lot of you hide behind the lecture stand. I prefer to walk. So if I walk, I have to have a collarless mic. सर मैं तो लेक्चर स्टैंड के पीछे खड़े होके बोलने में था, मेरे घुटने तो पानी पानी हो रहे थे. और उन बेवकूफों ने लेक्चर स्टैंड एक्राइलिक का बना रखा है जो आर पार दिखता है. सर हमारे कॉलेज में तो लकड़ी का था, प्लाईवुड का था, बोर्ड का था, यहाँ एक्राइलिक का दिख गया, तो आर पार दिखता है जैसे कुछ है ही नहीं. सर बड़ी मुसीबत हो गई, टेंशन हो गया सर. See the lecture stand. Second reason for seeing the lecture stand is some of you are short. So in all good places, Vigyan Bhavan, FICCI, all top hotels where we have these seminars, they have a stool for short people. So tell them earlier कि भैया मैं 5 फुट 2 इंच का हूं या 5 फुट 2 इंच की हूं, स्टूल है ना, तो स्टूल मेरे आने के जब अनाउंस होगा और मैं चलना शुरू करूंगी, कृपया स्टूल लगा दीजिएगा. Now you have to be careful कि आपने कदम लिया, स्टूल आप भूल गए स्टूल था और आप लड़खड़ा गए या गिर गए. So you have to be careful. Also, when you are speaking, and suppose you are called to FDRC, now you don't know where the washroom is. Just before your speech, you want to go to the washroom. Instead of focusing on the speech, अरे यार washroom कहाँ है? It's a delicate question. अब आप wrong exit से निकल के भटक गए और अब washroom ढूंढ रहे हैं, साहब washroom कहाँ है? It happens with people. So reach early. There is always a coffee and biscuits, coffee and cookies as they call it. Do networking. Where am I going to be sitting? Where I am sitting, say which is the correct route for the washroom, where I can freshen up before. Carry your own laser pointer, telescopic pointer, paperweights, adapter plugs. Laser pointer, telescopic pointer, teachers all understand. Paperweights. In top places, there is a tower AC next to you. So suppose you have got a piece of paper, if nothing else, with the names of all the dignitaries to whom you have to thank, वो कागज उड़ जाता है. Luckily, you have your mobile these days to put on top of it. But say, for example, I keep my mobile like this. See, my mobile is on a stand. Even when I have to carry it, I carry the stand, it's foldable. So I can see my mobile clearly. So you carry something like a 1 rupee coin or a flat stone, adapter plugs. If you're traveling outside India for a speech, all over India, 99.9% we use the same electricity sockets. But it's a good idea if you're going outside India to have your adapter plugs. 99% they will provide one. But still in your hotel room also, if you ask the hotel lobby, they give it to you. It's best to have your own. Adapter plugs is important. Heterogeneous audience. I remember after this talk in Ankara, they were so impressed that they said, sir, you have to speak to us. We'll have a cocktail and informal discussion. I said, I'm going for a 20-day holiday after these 2 days of this conference. Sir, then now you don't remember their names. So carry your name wearing your suitable for wearing over here. Carry a name placard or tell them, in case you have to put a name placard, this is the format in which I want my name. In civil, sometimes they will write full brigadier, whereas you want only brig. They will not write your designation correctly sometimes. So it is best to tell them. If you are putting a placard, this is what I want, rest whatever you do is fine with me. Suddenly you will see when you go abroad, Russian names, Czech names, Slovak names, Polish names, they are tongue twisters. Even in India, there are some North Indians who cannot pronounce Visheshwaraya properly. You forget about abroad. Even in India, Visheshwaraya, how many people? There will be 1%, 2% who इसी पे अटक जाएंगे. So carry a placard. Know your audience, I have covered earlier. PPT to match their language and knowledge. Now this next point is important. You are a teacher who is going to be speaking on lean thinking in management. That is a FDP I took for All India Council of Technical Education with 67 universities and 140 professors present. Lean thinking in management. Now, suppose I had, of course, 3.5 hours, the whole day, first day of the 5-day FDP. You have 20 minutes for your talk. Sir, the starting took time, VIP, then Deep Prajwalan Samaro, lamp lighting ceremony, and then the speech by the various big bosses. So what do people tell you? देखो, मौका दे रहे हैं, cancel नहीं कर रहे हैं तुम्हें. 10-12 मिनट में खत्म कर देना. Now you are sunk. Speech तो पूरी रट के आए थे 20 मिनट की, और उसमें जल्दी जल्दी बोल के 25 मिनट का माल ठूसा था. यहाँ इन्होंने 10-12 मिनट बोल दिया. Now I don't know what to do. So I speak and it is patchy, and my most crux points which were towards the end are missed. Therefore, just like in an examination as teachers, you've known that when you teach and when you set a question paper, it has these 3 categories of degrees of difficulty of a question and the knowledge level of a question. Must know knowledge, could know knowledge, and should know. So teachers understand this very well. Please apply this to your public speaking. अगर मुझे 12 मिनट मिले तो ये facts and figures ये वाले मैं जरूर बोलूंगा. ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है. Must know, could know, should know translates to must speak, should speak, could speak. Before your presentation, अब आपका इंट्रोडक्शन शुरू हो गया है. 30 सेकंड लगेगा, फिर आपको चल के जाना है और बोलना है. Take deep breaths, not Baba Ramdev, because the camera will capture you. But like this, I am taking a very deep breath. I am relaxing. I am clenching and unclenching my fists and my toes, पैर के पंजों से भी, ताकि टेंशन निकल जाए. You can't do this, नहीं तो कैमरा पकड़ लेगा. But you have to loosen your tension. तो जरा सा इधर देखा, पर मैं बॉडी को I'm pulling my muscles so that I loosen the tension in my stiff muscles. Every audience will have some friendly faces, like I'm requesting you all to put on your cameras, and most of you have switched them off. The point is, every audience has some friendly faces, some neutral faces, and some rivals. इसकी स्पीच जरूर खराब करेंगे, इसने मुझे मदद नहीं की थी. So when you start speaking, मैं तो पीछे बैठा हूं, मैं ऐसे कर दूंगा. या नाक साफ कर रहा हूं. I'm distracting you. But this is very few. 90% are neutral or positive, and at least 30-40% are positive. वो आपको सुनने आए हैं. So if you look at audience as friends rather than enemies, you are better off. नहीं, ये क्लास में बच्चे जो है ना, बड़े ही बदमाश हैं, छटे हुए बदमाश हैं. इन्होंने 2 टीचरों को रुला के रखा है, मैं दिखाऊंगा इनको आज. अरे क्या मतलब है भाई? पूरी क्लास छटी हुई बदमाश है. एक बच्चा थोड़ा शरारती नटखट, 2 हो सकते हैं, 3 हो सकते हैं. So please regard audience as friends, and like right now only Jyoti ma'am has her camera on, so, and she's nodding, she's smiling, so I'm looking at her. I am drawing my energy from her feedback of my communication. And to be a good listener, sometimes I go and tell somebody, oh, you were sitting in the middle left side, and I could appreciate the moral support that you were giving my argument. And this professor from Morocco, you noticed me. I said, you were so good. And yes, you are wearing a distinctive, whatever he was wearing, I don't remember. There were academicians, there were statesmen, there were military people, a lot of professors who teach defense studies. So that, look at friendly faces in your audience, ho gaya. Look at audience as supporters rather than enemies. Of course, there will be people from rival schools and colleges. वो अपने कॉलेज का नाम ऊंचा करने आए हैं. But here, look at them at least as neutral. Listen carefully and repeat a doubt. Why should you repeat a question? 1, if it is a smallish gathering and there are not enough mics for the audience, that person may have asked the doubt without a mic. Second, the doubt asker could be in the front rows. He or she is facing you. 80% of the audience in the hall behind has not understood the question. So repeat the question. The second big reason for repeating a question, very smart tip I am telling you. जब आप प्रश्न को दोहराते हैं, आप अपने दिमाग को वो 15 सेकंड अतिरिक्त प्रोसेसिंग टाइम देते हैं. Oh, that's a good question. So, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman with the good red tie on the right, he has asked this. I would like to respond to it like this. 30 सेकंड मिल गया ना मुझे, उसका जवाब दिमाग ने थॉट कंटेंट, थॉट क्लैरिटी, थॉट आर्टिकुलेशन के कड़ी में डाल देगा अपने आप. Now, if the question asked to you is a very typical question, और आपको समझ में आ गया कि आपको तो जवाब आता नहीं है इसका, सट्टे मत मारना. Now there are 2 options. Ladies and gentlemen, this question, not directly within the scope, but relevant still. I'm afraid I do not know the details. I'm sure somebody in the audience can tell us. सबका मन है कि मेरा चेहरा कैमरे पे आए, और उनमें से एक दो ने इस जो भी विषय है उस पे कुछ किया होगा, पढ़ा होगा, बोला होगा, लिखा होगा. So they will stand up and speak. You have made friends. You have admitted that you don't know, which is fine. You are not Bhagwan. You are not omniscient. The second is, ये बंदा बदमाश है, इसको जवाब मालूम है, ये इसीलिए पूछ रहा है. Sir, I think the question is a very niche question. Would you yourself, in not more than a minute, like to share your views on it? अब वो फूल के कुप्पा देखा, मेरी बारी आ गई. Very good. Because you can make out. ये तो बंदा क्लास में क्या होता है? At least 10% of the doubts are asked by students who know the answer. Yes or no, teachers? Budding teachers. So,
Yes, sir. Most of the case.
there you are. तो आप उसका इस्तेमाल कीजिए. हाँ बेटा, अच्छा सवाल है और तुम इसके बारे में क्या सोचते हो? तुम्हें काफी कुछ मालूम है, मुझे भरोसा है बेटा, बताओ. यस मैम, मैं तो ऐसा. बहुत अच्छा जवाब दे. नाउ डोंट पब्लिकली कसम. तो तुमने सवाल क्यों पूछा? बेवकूफ, नालायक, चटक. नो. देखो, इन्होंने एक अच्छा सवाल पूछा और उसका इतना अच्छा उत्तर हमें मिला. वेरी गुड. अब हम सबको ये चीज मालूम पड़ गई. You have converted it into a victory for everybody. Listen carefully, be willing to share what you know and hear what you don't know. मैं ही बोलूंगा, मैं हूं स्पीकर, ये कैसे बोल देगा बीच में? Wrong thinking. Your voice should carry conviction, not 15 जनवरी को लाल किले से आप पूरे देश को भाषण दे रहे हैं. My dear countrymen, it gives me great pleasure to address you on this Independence Day. You all have made great sacrifices and the country salutes you. अरे इस आवाज में कोई दम है? सो जाएंगे सुनने वाले.
Yes, sir.
Then, so please, your voice should carry, even if you are 1% wrong. That is what they teach you in debates. Dam hona chahiye, conviction. I believe in it. And yes, if I am wrong, I am ready to listen. Okay. So plan, prepare, practice, and present. And all this I have covered. Planning में क्या करना है, preparation में क्या करना है, practice कैसे करनी है, presentation के time पे. So many tips I have given you. This we have covered. What is the purpose of your public speaking or presentation or whatever? This we have covered. To inform, to request, to persuade, to build relationships. You have been sent by your principal. Oh, I never knew this college was so good. This teacher is a good ambassador, yeah? Let's go for recruitment to this college also. Very good. Business development. Oh, I think more children from our Khandan could join this school. Very good. That is what they want, building relationships. Now, PPT related, if you are supposed to give your pen drive and you had a small clipping of 20 seconds video, or you had an Excel sheet which you had hyperlinked to your PPT, on your computer it will work, but on the pen drive it will not work. Reason is the hyperlink address is to your computer. So please, if you are to give your PPT, practice. If you have to give your pen drive, practice it on that folder so that you reconnect the links of the pen drive presentation to the pen drive Excel file or the pen drive video file. This is important. ये गलती हो जाती है. You use rehearse feature, notes page, slide master. I'm sure you would have been taught this. They are very useful. The background. See, I have got a black background because I am broadcasting 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. See, there are no reflections in my specs. And yet my face is brightly lit from both sides. There are no shadow areas even here. You can see everything clearly. And there is no reflection, which is common for speckies. Like Anju Kumari is there, no reflections, but when she is looking down, the monitor is reflecting. When she is looking up, it's not reflecting. So you have to look into this, especially for online stuff and even in large halls. Backup. Now, I took my laptop, but last moment there was a hang. Arey bhai, what am I carrying? Even for your class, 2 pen drives. And for important ones, put it on your email. If it is more than 25 MB, put it on the cloud on your A drive or whatever and send yourself a link. Means there should be a backup available to you. That is important. How to make friends with people. You spoke very well. पर यार, ये सर बहुत ड्राई थे यार. ठीक है, बोले अच्छा ज्ञान अच्छा था, लेकिन यार, अरे यार ये सर, यार इनसे तो कॉफी ब्रेक में बात करेंगे यार, मजा आ गया यार. इनका आगा पीछा, I'd like to follow him, whether on LinkedIn or on Facebook. यार, बड़ी गुड यार. क्या फर्क हुआ दोनों में? ज्ञान तो बराबर था दोनों का. रैपो, दोस्ती. How? Make direct eye contact. And when you're talking to people, please keep your eyes on the eyes. That is important. Smile, introduce yourself. Depending on the culture, social culture, whether you should handshake or not. Don't ask personal questions. Are you married? How long? How many children? अरे प्रोफेशनल मीटिंग है, तेरे को क्या मतलब कि मेरी शादी हुई है या नहीं हुई है और मेरे कितने बच्चे हैं? You can ask me, my doctorate thesis was on what topic? Good posture. Akal. Akal. Straight. Lean slightly forward. Oh yes, nice to meet you. I am a boss. Oh, hello, nice to meet you. Slightly forward is better. Slow, fluid movements. तो देखें ऐसा करना है. नहीं, हमको ऐसा करना है, नहीं तो अरे जैसे कि सम बरैयन ने बाइट कर लिया है और हम पागल हो रहे हैं. हाथ पैर ऐसे ला रहे हैं कि जैसे बंदर को काट लिया हो किसी ने. You find such people hyperactive on the stage. Not worth it. Don't fidget with your hands. Now, these are the details of how to deal with different audiences. Read through. I don't think there should be any doubt. Because after this, I want to give you time for your questions. जब तक आप सवाल नहीं पूछेंगे, experience or knowledge, सर मेरे संग ये हुआ था, and you can ask in Hindi if you want to. That will be the best learning. I am also going to ask you what are your key takeaways, and each student, Jyoti ma'am, each student has to answer, and you all can then take charge of the students who haven't answered. हर विद्यार्थी ये बताएगा कि इस पूरे 1.5 घंटे में मेरे लिए महत्वपूर्ण 2 बातें क्या थी? What were the 2 most important takeaways for me? And every person will have different takeaways. And also as teachers, that is the way I am doing the recap. Because you will cover all the points. Bright, intelligent B.Ed students, so many. When all of you speak, I'm sure you will cover all the points. And the teaching aid of tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell it, and tell them what you told them. Instead of me telling you, I will get it out from you. It's a good teaching trick. Show why your idea is important if the audience is indifferent. There are some examples from India at the national and international level where I use this. You think it's a normal thing. It's not. Because I don't want to talk politics, but Mr. Rahul Gandhi, when he spoke in the Lok Sabha, he spoke about Union of States of India. India is not a kingdom and we cannot have a king. And 50, 60 news sites. Then I said, ye log galat kar rahe hain. I wrote, here is a more serious analysis. Will the next election be state regionalism versus nationalism? And immediately, 2-3 editors, सर आप टीवी पे आएंगे क्या? मैंने कहा मैंने 2 साल पहले आना छोड़ दिया, आपको बता दिया है. सर फिर आपकी बात हमारे एंकर अपनी तरफ से बोलेंगे? मैंने कहा हाँ ठीक है, बोल लीजिए. That IPR I surrender because I put it on so many news channels. आप बोलिए, कोई चिंता नहीं. It's very important to understand what is happening now in that hijab row in the south. Is it only a hijab row? No, it is a trap. Tomorrow you can have a planned, sponsored Shaheen Bagh type of pan-India disruption, and today is voting day in UP. So you have to bring out why what you are saying is important. Okay, now this you must understand. मैं बोल रहा हूं, माइक मेरे हाथ में, जो मैं बोल रहा हूं ईश्वर की वाणी है ये, और कोई सही नहीं हो सकता, बस मैं ही सही हूं. ये इन तीनों में है. I am always right, cult leader. Treating your own thoughts as gospel. गलत है. Politician, they are wrong, we are right. जब तक आप नेता नहीं बनते ये मत करिएगा. Contrarian, तुम सारे गलत. Finding flaws in other people's arguments but being blind to my own shortcomings. ये तीनों मत करिएगा. You should be in the top 2 critical thinker. यार ये जो बोल रहे हैं हो सकता है सही हो सकता है गलत भी हो. That might be wrong. Engaging with diverse sources of information and questioning their integrity, fair. As teachers, as knowledge seekers, as knowledge disseminators, fair. But the best is, yeah, I might be wrong. So let me engage with similar domain specialization people, hear their views, and then we will come to know whether I am right or wrong. So I am questioning myself. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the best way of learning. Voice. जब आप पेंट करते थे स्कूल में, you were allowed colors as you grew up. Then you don't want to draw in black and white, you want to use all the 7 colors. When you take a photograph in your mobile where you can take in black and white, you normally want to take it in color. When you sing, you use all 7 notes. If you are that Hindi, sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. If you are the English type, do re mi fa sol la ti. And yet when you speak, I gave you that example from Redford, use all the styles of speaking. The other points in blue, important, please remember them. If you have questions, you can ask now, you can interrupt me anytime, or you can ask in the end, whenever. Here's an example. Have you seen my new book? Arey, you've seen my new car, you've seen my new house. I have authored another new book. Have you seen my new book? Have you seen my new book? अरे मेरी 3 किताबें जो पहले छपी थी तो आपने देख ली, जो चौथी अभी छपी है. Have you seen my new book? So the sentence in writing is the same when you're speaking it. Because of the stress on different words, the meaning is changing. Meaning will also change because of pauses. Roko, mat jane do. Roko mat, jane do. Opposite meanings. Just because of a pause. This is important.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir,
Yes.
in last slide, there was one sentence, and in that it was written predisposed audience. Sir, I did not get that sentence.
Okay.
Will you please, sir, repeat that?
Okay. So here in this slide,
Sir, last one before this.
anyway,
Sir,
I'll
after
explain
this.
predisposed audience. I just want to.
Yes, sir. Here, if the audience is predisposed, sir. Yes, sir. So
Which
just
line?
now sir, it was there just now. Not this one.
Which line, please?
Sir, it's second paragraph. Sir, after this. It was after this.
So after this is this.
Then before that, sir, before that maybe.
Okay.
Sir,
Before that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
If
sir.
the audience is predisposed. Predisposed matlab, we are going to a college in Delhi to speak. From AIE, one boy and one girl is speaking and 20 are going to listen. तो ये जो 20 हैं, they are already predisposed, means पहले से ही आपके पक्ष में हैं. Predisposed means पहले से ही. I am predisposed against you because of this. पहले से ही मेरे दिमाग में लाल चश्मा है. Predisposed मतलब मेरा झुकाव कहाँ है?
Yes,
तो
sir.
झुकाव बैठेगा तथ्यों पे. Predisposed मतलब मेरे पुराने अनुभव के वजह से या पुराने नजरिए के वजह से मेरे को पहले से ही मालूम है ये एआई के बच्चे अच्छे होते हैं, ये जेएनयू के बच्चे एंटी नेशनल बातें ज्यादा करते हैं. आई एम predisposed. सो predisposed, pre मतलब पहले, disposed मतलब मेरा झुकाव, my leaning, my perception, my bias. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir, I got it. Thank you, sir.
So, sir, it is
Thank
good,
you, Deepa.
or we should have these type of predisposed, or we should avoid it?
Okay, good question, ma'am. क्या आपको ये पहले से ही मन बना के रखना चाहिए या नहीं, ये ज्योति मैम ने पूछा है. जब आप उचित अध्ययन कर लेंगे तो कई विषयों पे आपका प्रीडिस्पोज्ड मत बन जाएगा. मिसाल, मैं इस पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को फेवर करता हूं, मुझको ये एजुकेशन पर साइमन सेनेक की स्पीच अच्छी लगती है, प्रोफेसर दिनेश सिंह वाइस चांसलर डीयू की स्पीच अच्छी लगती है, लेकिन फलाने की स्पीचें कम पसंद है. That is based on prior fact, so it's fine. A predisposition without being backed by facts or analysis is dangerous. ये सारे बंदे खराब हैं. क्या फैक्ट है आपके पास इसके लिए? ये पूरी क्लास ही बदमाश है. क्या फैक्ट है मेरे पास इसके लिए? कुछ बच्चे होंगे शरारती, सारे तो नहीं. आप अपना काम सही करिए. So it is better to approach towards a positive predisposition and yet understand that in real life there will be a few difficult people. There will be some जो आपकी क्लास को at a tangent ले जाएंगे और लास्ट में बोलेंगे सिलेबस तो ये था, इन्होंने तो कवर ही नहीं किया, जबकि आप और आपके छोटे से गिरोह ने ही टीचर को at a tangent ले गए हैं, गुमराह करने का पूरा प्रयास किया है. The answer is, I think that's a relevant question. It's peripheral to what we are discussing. Let's discuss it in the break. नहीं आने वाला है बच्चा वापस break, unless he or she is genuine. Have I answered your question, Jyoti ma'am?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Got it. Sir, I hope
Okay.
the Shubham, I hope
Yes,
the
sir.
meeting time is
We have
about
to
to
rejoin
over.
now.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Okay.
Sir, we will
Same
rejoin
link.
with the same link, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
students, please rejoin with the same link.
Brigadier Sanjay Agarwal from India. He'll say, I'm Trotskovich Polonitska. You can call me Trotty from Czech Republic. Thank you, Trotty. Pleasure meeting you. क्योंकि उसका नाम ट्रोत्सोवोविच है, वो बोलने में हमें कष्ट होगा, उसने बोल दिया पहले ही, you can call me Trotty. So in Africa, from Agarwal, it became Agawal, then it became Agalwar. The L and the R were interchanged. It was not Agalwar ban gaya wo. So simple was, call it Aggie. हाँ, Aggie. Aggie is simple for everybody. Fine. Non-fluencies I have covered: grass breaks, intonation, volume, and pitch. The larger the audience, the speed of speaking can go down. If you're speaking in a group of 3, you can speak much faster. But if I'm speaking in a group of 20, then I have to speak a little slower. If I'm speaking in a group of 200, I have to speak more deliberately. Okay. This we've covered. Now, this is what I was on. Please note this down. This is important. I have so much in my mind, but what reaches your mind is only 10%. I have a slide on this. I'm not showing it to you. What I know, to what I think, to what I can put into words, with the noise in the channel, how much of the words reach you, because just that, then you got a WhatsApp message that mama in hospital is okay, the reports are like this. तो आप मेरी बात सुन ही नहीं रहे थे, there was distraction. How much reaches you, how much of that language you are able to absorb. So I wanted to convey this much. What I'll end up in reaching your head is this much, and therefore repetition, and therefore simple language. And the message is to fit the receiver. How do you as a teacher wish a class 2 child? Hello Shivam beta, how are you? Is that how you will wish a class 12 child? Ma'am पागल हो गई है क्या? कैसे बात कर रही है मेरे से? You will not say hello Shivam beta, how are you to a class 12 child. Yes or no? Or Shivam, how are you? Doing well? You're growing well? Handsome लग रहा है? पढ़ाई शढ़ाई कर रहा है? That's how you will talk to a class 12 child. Your message has to fit that person's field of perception. There is a psychology behind this, which I'm leaving out. Using multiple channels. I'm using my voice with all the body gestures. I'm using the variations in tone, pitch, inflection, stress, emphasis. Obtain feedback. That is why I'm wanting your cameras on, and surprisingly AIE is not giving a good response on that. Normally after 15-20 minutes of wherever I speak to audiences, people do put on their cameras. I say even if you're casually dressed, you are sitting in your razai with your mobile phone, how does it matter? I need to see your face to get my battery charged. Sir, कोई problem तो नहीं है? नहीं. Record तो नहीं हो रहा है? तो हो भी रहा होगा तो क्या हो गया भैया? You are attending the class, you are attentive. आप रजाई में बैठे हो, उससे मुझे क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ठीक है सर. And you see, okay. So you obtain feedback. Now these 9 words in blue, please note down. I have told you this. जब आप 7 रंगों में पेंट करते हैं, जब आप 7 स्वरों में गाना गाते हैं, तो आप एक स्वर में क्यों बोलेंगे? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to speak with you. ऐसे क्यों बोलेंगे आप? होता ये है, most of us have a style of speaking which is a combination of 2-3 styles. These are 9 and there could be many more. So be conscious and use the appropriate style at the appropriate time. Am I not doing it with you? Sometimes I'm serious. Sometimes I'm friendly. Sometimes I'm a little dramatic. Sometimes. So if you use the full palette available to you, you will benefit. This is important. The explanations are self-explanatory. Any questions, ask. Now, this is important for teachers. When you are speaking, some of us, तुम बार-बार ये गलती करते हो, कैसा बच्चा है? I think if you try once more, you will get it right, beta. इसको ऐसे करते हैं. ये है सही तरीका. What is the difference between the two? I am ticking off the child. In the first case, I am putting down the child by negative words. And if you read NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, you will understand this. The moment you hear negative words, लाल बत्ती जल जाती है. और अगर मेरे बारे में negative है, I want to protect myself, whether by withdrawing or by fighting. Fight or flight, but I will protect myself. But I can say the same thing using positive words. Here are examples because I teach scale 3 bank officers. There's largely banking type. Left side mein hai the negative word usage, right side mein the same thing with the positive word usage. Read through. And of course, this is getting on the record, so it'll be available to you. और ये तो हम लोग मॉडर्न बिहेवियर साइंस से बोल रहे हैं. आस्क योर दादी, आज एक सर ने ऐसा बताया, क्या ऐसी कोई कहावत थी आपके समय में? एंड द कहावत इज, व्हाट इज माय नेम? अग्रवाल. सो आई एम अ बनिया. कहावत इज, बनिया गुड़ न दे मीठी बात तो करे. बनिया गुड़ न दे मीठी बात तो करे. This is an old कहावत. You will not have heard it because the modern internet enabled social media addicted youth. But if you ask your nani, dadi, dada, ऐसी कोई कहावत थी क्या? They will tell you, हाँ है. So this modern behavioral science is telling you the same thing, which is traditional wisdom. That दुकानदार, भैया गुड़ दे दो. गुड़ नहीं है हमारे यहाँ. गुड़ कल भी आई थी पूछने, परेशान करके रख दिया है, नहीं है गुड़. बेटी गुड़ तो परसों तक आएगा. खांड है मेरे पास, वही काम करती है. चीनी के बजाय खांड है मेरे पास. Better way. If that chap speaks rudely, next time you don't want to come to that shop. बनिया गुड़ न दे मीठी बात तो करे is this, which modern behavioral science is telling you as if it's a fresh piece of wisdom. So now we come to your questions and comments. It's not thank you time yet. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you, because you are teachers. And if you want the slides on, then I will put them on again. But right now I'm stopping the share, telling you one thing, and then we are getting on to your key takeaways, and then we'll come to your questions. We still have enough time. 40 minutes are left. It's 10:40. We started 19 minutes late, so 11:20. 40 minutes are left. The last thing I want to tell you is this. Note this 7 words down. Heading is having difficult conversations. You have a shararti bachcha in class. And if you're teaching senior classes, it can get a little difficult. So having difficult conversations, likhiye and write down 7 words. When you ... leave 2 lines. I feel ... May I request everybody to switch on their cameras now, since we are not sharing? I'm seeing a whole lot of ghost names there only, except for Anita, Anju, and Ajit Pratap Singh, who's got a DP on, I think. Come on, switch on your cameras, everybody. Okay. When you ... leave 2 lines. I feel ... leave 2 lines because ... leave 2 lines. I prefer ... So Kanika Singh, Sadhna, Ritika, Pratibha, Swati, Ritu Singh, Kriti Guleria, Karishma Negi, Rohini, Shelly Nath. Either I'm speaking a language that you don't understand, or you just don't want to switch on your cameras, and maybe that is the culture that you all are following. So, well, that's your thing. Now I'll explain these 7 words. When you describe offensive behavior, describe disruptive behavior, लिख दीजिए ये brackets में. Describe disruptive behavior. I feel, brackets, subjective feelings. मुझे क्या महसूस होता है? I feel subjective feelings. Because, brackets में, objective logic. I feel मेरे अंदर है because की logical, rational, objective है. I prefer, brackets में, give desired behavior. Give desired behavior. So this is these 7 words which will help you in taking on difficult conversations in your context. They would be either with difficult students, and as and when you become a principal yourself, it could be with a difficult faculty member who is always coming late or something. So it is applicable at all levels. That is what I'm wanting to share with you, that it is applicable at all levels. This having difficult conversations wali tippani tip, it's a master stroke. Now we will start with each student to speak for a short while and tell us what are the key takeaways for you. Yes.
Yes, students,
So can
you
I
can
speak?
unmute. Yes, Beta.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Anita, please.
Good morning,
Yes,
ma'am.
and Jyoti
Good
ma'am,
morning, sir.
yes, please speak. Good.
Yes, sir. So the key points which I get from all the things you have told us, the first is the about the content, second is the clarity, and third is about the articulation. Like all
Okay.
these three things, yes, sir. All these three things are really essential when we are speaking in a public. So after that, the one more thing that I got is like whenever you are speaking, you must be like confident enough to speak, and you must have to be revised before speaking anything in front of the public. So all those things that that all those things like before speaking we must be aware of. Yes, sir.
Okay. Fair.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Next.
Kanika, Beta, please
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. So,
Morning.
sir, for me, my takeaway was that I really liked the way you broke down public speaking, because even I struggle with it, and I always used to think it's always about confidence, but like the thought content, thought clarity, and articulation. So it's step by step. So it breaks down the process, and it's easier that way. And sir, also another takeaway was that you should also cater to the audience, that if they already agree with you, you just need to say your words because they're as it is agreeing with you. And if they're
Absolutely.
not, then you need to give the facts and figures. So that is also good persuasive skill. So those were my takeaways, sir.
Great. Good.
Yes, Pushpa, Beta, please go ahead.
Yes. So what I learned from this is, first of all, we should not fear, because unless and until we are not confident enough, we will not be able to deliver whatever we want to deliver. And for that, it needs practice. And you have to practice it in that environment, which is a real or actual environment, as you said. Before delivering, you must need to practice. And as practice makes a man perfect, so it will definitely expel out your fear, and you will be able to become a good public speaker.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes, Ankita, Beta, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. So my takeaways are that I जैसे कि आपने कहा कि we should practice. So I from now onwards I'll focus on the element of practice. And one more thing that I learned is that we have to articulate. Articulation means giving a direction. So we have to find out कि हमें कहाँ से शुरू करना है और कहाँ पे खत्म करना है. So that तो वो जो आर्टिकुलेशन वाला है कि कहाँ से खत्म करना है, कहाँ पे शुरू करना है, कहाँ से खत्म करना है. So that thing is one of the most important thing that I learned. And one more thing is sir कि that आपने कहा कि हमें ऑडियंस के अकॉर्डिंग चलना चाहिए. Yes, I agree to this, and I'll keep it in my mind कि हमें ऑडियंस के अकॉर्डिंग चलना चाहिए. And yes, वो so that pitch, tone, that those all things matter. So while public speaking, so we should try to keep it in mind and we should try to focus on it. जैसे कि आपने कहा रीडिंग करने में और बोलने में बहुत फर्क होता है. So yes, जैसे कि मैंने इंग्लिश में पढ़ाया था, so I read English frequently, but जब मैं बच्चों को पढ़ा रही थी, अपने पढ़ने में और बच्चों को पढ़ने में बहुत डिफरेंस होता है. So punctuation marks and all that we don't focus on while speaking or while teaching. So we should try to focus on that. That's it, sir.
Good.
Yes, Ajit, beta, please unmute yourself and go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Sir, I would like to say that it is a scientific practice with artistic execution, where you have to mold the audience according to you, and somehow you need to see the positive intent at all the time. Like if they are asking something odd, then you need to appreciate them and mold it accordingly. And before that, when I said that it is a scientific practice, you need lot of practice and command, and see all the dimension of the even the places of the speaking, and carry out even all the useful material what you can collect. Like you have also give the personal experience that you have see the hall. It is a major part that when we have a large number of listeners, it always carry out the flow of the speaker, and somehow it need much higher confidence and fluency over there and command. But when it's one on one, it's totally easier for us on the startup level. But we need to organize things very scientifically and manage it in an artistic way. So it is a very good session, and we just get a lot of points. And thank you, sir.
So I think Ajit has brought out a number of very useful points. One of them was if the other person, how to disagree with him and all. And on this issue, I will show you a slide on how to disagree. I have shown you one triangle. I'll show you one towards the end. Okay, next speaker.
Thank you.
Yes, Sushmita, beta, please go ahead as you raise your hand.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Sir, I have learned that first of all, to know what are the contents we have to say, and in which audience we are going to present it, and also, sir, where we are going to present that. You are talking about that hall, seminar hall, or a stage, right? So keeping in that mind, we should prepare like this, how we will present all the things, and always keep your backup plans also. If it first one fails, then we can go further. Okay, that's it, sir. Thank you.
Good, Sushmita. Just to add to what she says, I remember the AIE hall. Below the dais in the center, you have that Saraswati lamp lighting. We are sitting on sofas in the front row. So after lamp lighting, we will come and sit back, and then we will walk from the left side as we are facing the dais to on top. So now as I'm speaking to you, it is coming back to me. But if it doesn't come back to me, I could ask Jyoti ma'am कि ma'am जरा सा एक छोटा सा वीडियो भेज देना हॉल का, both from the audience side or एक बार lecture stand side, so I'll get the view. There are ways to do it. Very good. Thank you, Sushmita. Next speaker.
Yes, Binita, beta, please go ahead. Binita, hope you are there.
You can ask them to raise hands because ultimately we want everybody to speak.
Yes, you can raise hand. Yes, Rahul, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good morning. My key takeaways were, sir, that focusing on those small things which you told, like knowing your speakers, listeners well, and knowing the audience well. Secondly, one thing I also noticed in your slides also, and in the way of your speaking also, that adding a little bit of humor in the speech makes it very more, it connects with you, connects you with the audience well. And I also noticed that, the pie chart you were showing, or it was a figure, it was a triangle where you had written cult leader, and that there was a small star in that cult leader, and then you had mentioned about your spouse. It was really, that was the time when it really hit me, So I was like very well connected with it. So that was very great.
So Rahul has really been attentive, because whoever is attentive catches on to that star and says, "Sir, usme maza aa gaya. Ye to sachai hai." For those of you who do not know what the star said, this excludes my wife. She is always right. Siddhi baat hai.
Yes.
All this gyan doesn't apply to Dharam Patni. So that is what is there. Ki wife, she's always right. Ab aage chalo. Excellent, Rahul. You've proved it that you were very attentive. Next speaker.
Yes, beta, next hand. Please raise your hand. Otherwise,
So
I
good
will.
morning, sir.
Yes. Please,
Yes,
please.
ma'am. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, very few points I have jotted down. So, sir, basically, I have always been practicing these like rapid building, smile, body language, content, how you have to be friendly with the audience, not to focus on the adversary audience and all that. Sir, but apart from this, what I observe that we must be confident, and this confidence comes from the content which we are ousting. Means, and sir, what I have believed that whenever we are speaking, if we have all that content in our not in a ratification manner, but we must have that understanding that what content I am posting about, what topic I am speaking. And particularly if I am confident in that, I am completely rehearsed with that, then definitely I won't have all that nervousness, dejectness and all that haziness. So sir, these are the things. And about the things which you said about body language, fluency, the simplified language and all that, like rate and volume, what we must speak, the names, how I must oust my name, and whatever, like my the speed of speaking and all that. So sir, all that I have jotted down. And sir, thank you so much for that. And sir, one important question which has always been in my mind, because it's the thing
Please
that
ask.
I've been practicing this. Sir, whenever I speak, so the thing is that I never do ratification of the content. I always understand the thing, because if while we are public speaking, the sudden changes are being made in between, and the things are being cut it down, things are being added. So we must have the understanding of the thing. And the thing is, while I'm speaking, like suppose if I look into the eyes of the audience, it may happen that I forget the content. So, sir, what should I do in this? Because this thing happened. And the thing is not, I am not confident. I am confident. I have the understanding, but still this thing happens. So, sir, for this, I just want to know.
When you look into the eyes of the audience, then
I forget the content. Like if I'm speaking, I forget the lines, or maybe I will. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what
there
I'm
is a
saying. I forget the lines, and I don't. It may happen that I will, I will disutter, or I will not be able to pronounce clearly. I may feel.
reason
I
is
get
this.
nervousness.
Reason is this. And
Yes,
before
sir.
I tell you that you are getting involved in that eye to eye communication, ये नजर बोलती है, दिल बेजुबान है, is happening. Answer. When a dai at home, there is a new child born to your bhabhi, and there is a child and there is a dai. Dai does everything for as the mother, but the dai knows I am not the mother. In our Hindu scriptures, this is called nishkama karma. No attachment. So what is happening with you, Deepa, when you are making that eye contact, there is unwarranted extra communication happening. Is he or she liking my speech? Are they agreeing with me? Are they happy? These are the background questions in that eye contact. So one is to cut them out, and the other more easy thing for you to do, look at me and my eyes now. No, this will be better for you. There is no reflection. I am looking at the camera. I can look into your eyes and communicate, or I can look here and look through you. Meaning, I can draw the positive energy without getting involved in a eye-to-eye cyclic conversation. Are you getting what I'm saying, Deepa? You're getting distracted with the eye contact. The eye contact is giving you inputs peripheral to the core topic communication. So you are forgetting the topic or your speech or your script. The answer there is to look here rather than at the eyes. Practice it with your friend. When you do it one-to-one, your friend will say, "Kya soch rahi hai?" Because you are looking here. when you are looking at your friend at the eyes, there is communication happening. And yes, with a piece of time, the extra communication gets filtered out. I absolutely understand what you're saying, and you're right. And
Yes,
therefore,
sir.
the solutions are true with practice, and your thoughts are clean. You are not giving fuel to that peripheral cycle. And the second thing is look here, not here. Okay, Deepa?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next.
Yes, Ritu beta, you have raised your hand.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, sir. So first of all,
Morning.
thank you so much for telling us and guiding us to how to take public speaking in such a uh, good and humorous manner. I must say the way you enacted, I really liked. I was actually smiling and sitting behind the camera, the way you were delivering your content. So, and my takeaway point from this was that no matter we are the new to the stage, it happens. Like some are the first time speaker on the stage, but some are they are very much experienced in public speaking. But it is common for everyone that we might get formal, we might get stuck somewhere, and we might get that fear again inside that. So what we should have is the practice. The practice that makes man perfect is obviously we should be confident, we should not be overconfident. I am the expert, I've been doing this since long years, so I'll be the master of that public speaking. So no, for us the speaking part is always like a new thing. Every stage is new to us, so every day is new to us. Similarly, every public speaking point is new to us, so we should practice before each and every. Besides the matter, I am the first time speaker on the stage or the experienced one. So what I take away is this: always be confident, not overconfident, and always practice before, no matter where you want to speak and with in front of whom. And so my one question is, like, sometimes it happens ki we don't know much about our audience. We are hardly aware of all the things, that what type of students I'm going to tackle in any class. Like I'm new to some school and ma'am has given that you have to handle this class, and I'm the moment I enter, so there the student, the look, the way they gaze at our face, that no, ye kaun aa gaya, ye nayi teacher aa gayi. So I think there at some level वो जो थोड़ा सा एक चीज होती है वो डाउन हो जाए कि अब मैं कैसे इनको साथ interact, how to start interact, and how to take us in their confidence. So in that case, I just want to add that how to make ourselves ready for that when we are unaware of the audience, that what kind of audience we are going to face.
Okay, good question. Specific answer, because we've got about 9 minutes left now, 8 minutes 30 seconds left for this meeting. Unless you all want to extend it, I have no problems. That Jyoti ma'am will decide. Two things you can do. When you go to a new school, ask for a student list. Because whoever is assigning you the class, मैम जरा कैमरे से फोटो ले लीजिए अपनी अटेंडेंस रजिस्टर से ही और बच्चों के नाम भेज दीजिए. The moment you know a few names, it's worthwhile. Second, have a notebook opened with you. So for different colleges, I have different notebooks. So these are the 7 colleges. This is Shulani University. This is a Bangalore University. This is the Statesmanship Program. This is National Statistical School. This is Ministry of Road Transports, Indian Academy of Highway Engineers. This is AI. So you have a notebook where you write down. Zulf is Ankit. The chap has got big hair. He is Ankit. Red lipstick is so-and-so girl. So you are getting the names very quickly to you. This is how in hotels, waiters recognize your order. So when you enter a class, A, you have a student list. B, you are ready with you don't have to open a notebook then, it is open, and you have a pencil, pen. I had these two handy and these a little far away. So red pen is here, green pen is here, this one is blue. So depending on what I want to note down, I can easily note it down. And the next part is start with your introduction. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm your new teacher, so-and-so. This is my background. And I wish to talk to you about this one sentence which I said, which they don't know about the subject. Some of you may know about this. Yes, ma'am, we know. Tell us. अब जिस बच्चे को मालूम है, tell us, आपकी ice breaker हो गया. This phase of what you have spoken about is called the icebreaker phase. And it's for some people difficult, for some people high tension, for some people embarrassing, for some people very natural. And that is where I told you, when I go to big meetings, I go early. Because the coffee and cookies time, I make this ice-breaking thing. When you are entering a class, enter with a bright, confident, not over-friendly. Bright, confident, good morning, children. If they are grown-up children, good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm so-and-so, coming to your class for the first time. We will be talking about this subject. How many of you know this? Some of them will know. If they don't know, you answer in a few seconds. Now, there must be some questions in your mind about me. Ask. Super confidence. Ma'am, are you married? What's your name? Or don't ask the name because he may feel that mere piche padegi. How does my being married or not affect the quality of my parting instruction? Chalo, batao. Ab wo bachcha kaap gaya. Because that child wanted to embarrass you. No, ma'am, I did not see a sindoor or a bindi. Come on, in today's world, many unmarried women wear bindi and many married women don't wear sindoor. Okay, have I answered your question? अरे यार, मैम बड़ी कॉन्फिडेंट है, इसको सुधार दिया, आगे भी कुछ कर सकती हैं, बच के रहना इनसे. Very good. And you inside you know that I have got my due place in the mind of the students. Have I answered your question? Student list, be ready to note names of, I've got so many, like I take executive MBAs online and there again cameras on, so I know. And I'll make a short code, who is who. Handle mustache, handle mush. So I know iski moti mooche hain, ye banda hai ye. So I'll say, now they know. I'll say, what do you feel about this Pradyot, the man with the handlebar mustache? अरे यार, सर को तो मेरी शक्ल पहचानते हैं, मैंने नोट्स में लिख लिया है. Pradyot, handle mush. So if I have about 80 students, 10 का आपने ऐसे कर लिया क्लास नियंत्रण में. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Now we have 3 minutes left. We will rejoin, I suppose.
Sure,
I have
sir,
no
sure.
problems. Okay.
Okay, sir. So
let's rejoin,
dear
and then
students-
we have the additional questions.
Right,
and
sir, right.
then I will show you basic communication. Also 100% applicable in public speaking. What I think is that big circle. So what I think is the big circle, what I put into words becomes much smaller. What I actually say and what is heard becomes much smaller. And finally, what people understand is only so small. The aim is to get this smallest circle as big as possible by using simple language, by repeating, by using a good voice, by keeping their attention, etc. We have spoken of all this. The second thing I want to show you is this. When you disagree, you are having a teacher's meeting with the principal in the staff room, or there is a teacher's FDP or seminar. How should you disagree? I told you go on TV, and there was somebody, he's a pediatric surgeon. He sent me this. Brigadier sir, congratulations. You reminded me of this. I'm sure you have read this. I had not 4 years ago. You are always in the top 2 much appreciated. What is this? When you have to disagree, TV पे क्या होता है? अरे वो, and you call him some name, Feku or Pappu or Khujli, etc. Name calling is not done, least of all by educated, respected professionals like teachers. Then you are attacking the characteristics of the speaker. अरे वो धोती बनियान पहन के वो हमें ज्ञान देंगे? Please know that the top rocket scientists of ISRO are ladies who dress in traditional Tamilian saris, big bindis, and big flowers in their hair. But we are trying to cast a slur sometimes on people by looking at their dress. Are wo? And you describe the dress in a bad way, responding to tone. Are wo? जो नाक से बोलता है मुंह टेढ़ा करके. अरे भाई नाक से बोलता है मुंह टेढ़ा करके. Mr. Sharad Pawar has had a major medical issue. He had mouth cancer or something. That's not a thing to respond to. Contradiction. आप ये बोल रहे हैं मैं उल्टा केस. Now these are improving better styles. So I can give a counter argument which I contradict you and then give you my argument with supporting evidence. Earlier I only contradict. नहीं आप गलत हैं. J&K issue always on live TV. I had a panel activist. नहीं आप तो गलत हैं. ऐसे बताइए कैसे? फुस. और अब मैं बताऊंगा कि मैं सही कैसे हूं. आपने कभी भी बिजली का बिल दिया? J&K में रात भर बिजली जलती रहती है क्योंकि बिजली फ्री है. वेस्ट. कभी आपने इस चीज का टैक्स दिया? नहीं दिया, etc. So counter argument. But the best to refute, find the mistake, explain why it is a mistake using incontrovertible facts, which is your argument. And then this is something like I just told you. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi spoke about the hijab issue is not the issue. The issue is much bigger. The central point I have made, which people, we never thought of it this way. And of course, in the government, since I've been security advisor to the Home Ministry, I said, this is a trap. Hijab issue is a trigger for a planned pan-India Shaheen Bagh type disruption. That is the central theme. Everybody's talking of hijab ke fayde nuksan. So if you understand this and you stay in the top 2 of this, it will be very useful to you. Okay, I'm stopping share now. Back to your takeaways and questions. Both can be combined. I can stop share, Jyoti ma'am. Anybody needs a clarification on this slide?
Yes, students, your views.
Any clarification? Otherwise, I'll stop share so we can all see, and this is not unnecessarily taking screen space.
No, sir, no doubt.
Okay. Yes. Now ask.
Yes, Shubham, your key takeaway.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, sir. Good morning. So,
good morning. I can see your DP.
Yes, sir. Actually, the light went out and I'm on mobile data and all those things. So that's why some work is going on in the background. So, sir, I think the one thing I face is that when I come in front of audience, even when in the assembly and all those things, and even in the meeting, so the jitter or the nervousness you get when you speak in front of the audience. And as you have mentioned that how to calm yourself. So that was one point which was very much useful for me, like breathing and how to calm yourself, looking at the audience and muscle relaxation. And also this was one of the takeaway for me. And one more thing is while you are speaking to or giving a lecture or a speech, so it is very much important that you indulge or interact with the audience. So it makes that very much effective and involving. So having an active participation.
You can remove the spotlight from him, because as it is, I don't need the spotlight and everybody else's faces are not coming, only 6, 7 on top. So let's remove the spotlight from the speaker.
Okay.
Yes, Shubham, continue.
So, sir, like I was saying, that active participation and involvement of audience is very much important if you want to make a interactive and a very much effective delivery. So these were the two takeaways from my end, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Anju Kumari, Binita, Khushbu, Kanika, Pushpa, all of your mics are off. Pratibha Devi, Divya Yadav. So I'm going to call out one of you, maybe. Chalo, anyway, we'll have Jyoti ma'am telling us who's asking the next, telling us the next key takeaways.
Sure.
You can remove the spotlight from me. Yeah.
Rahul, you have again raised your hand. So I hope you have any question.
Yes, there's not a key takeaway, but I mean, I've discussed it earlier, but there was a question that as you were saying that, while discussing that disagreeing point, you said that you can counter agree. Counter agreements you can give, and you can, change the
Counter
topic.
argument.
You can give some
counter argument.
Yes, sir.
Not
So that
counter
counter argument. So counter argument that will require certain amount of facts, figures, and all, right? And as you are, you have been to so many forums and all. So I would like to ask that from where do you, get those facts and figures? What sources do you follow so that, I can also follow those. I can also read them.
Very good question.
To gather knowledge.
Very good question. In today's world of fake news, where to get authentic data? So when you study and you go to 30, 40 sites 2-3 times over 6 months, you will understand which is the good site. But since you asked specifics, I will answer specifics. One good site is statista.com. Any figures, facts that you need of the world, statista.com. Second good site is anything ending in .gov.in for India. So those are the official ministry figures. You can also see official economic survey of India. Go to the Ministry of Education site, see the linkages there. Go to UGC site, see the linkages there. Go to ACTE site, All India Council of Technical Education, see the links there. You will find some masaledar news. I regularly find 20-30 every day. Out of them, 8 to 10, I quickly put in the Google search. 1 million results will come. Now, based on the website, if it is an India government website, it's good. I often listen on Pakistan. I don't listen to India so much as I listen to Dawn. Dawn, like India, you have Times of India. Hindustan Times, they have a newspaper called Dawn. So they tell me about very good newspaper, sometimes critical of India, often critical of Pakistan itself. There are 3 Pakistanis who speak. Ayesha Siddiqa, she's a researcher in London. Khalid Umar, he's a senior journalist in London. Tahir Gora, he's a media owner in Canada. Arif Ajakia, mayor of Lahore, now out of that. And one scientist called Parvez Hoodboy, who lives in Pakistan. So I know these 5 names because I've been following them for years. So you will discover, firstly, I've given you the specifics, go to the ministry sites. Economic Times will often be anti-India, often it will be correct. Business Standard will generally be okay. Hindu is often anti-India, but Hindu Business Line less so. So these are the important newspapers. You want pro-India view? TFI, The Frustrated Indian. Op India, which used to be earlier negative. You want good research, often anti-India, go to Shekhar Gupta, Cut the Clutter. You want absolutely anti-India, go to Rajdeep Sardesai. And a lot of these things I put on my Facebook. And you don't have to be friends on Facebook because my posts are public. So I have a lot of followers and they write back. And yesterday, a Muslim lady has written back from there when I wrote about the hijab issue. She said, you are the first one who said this, and I agree fully. And she said, my 700 words versus your 25 words. You are so right. She had written a long piece. She's a very educated lady, about 35 years old. So your sites you will get based on reading. And whenever you have a doubt, ask somebody, यार इस विषय पे अच्छी sites कौन सी है? New York Times, Washington Post, never. Chicago Times, Boston Globe, never. They are all paid mercenaries. Soros Foundation. China, when I want to read the Chinese view, I go to SCMP, South China Morning Post. On TV, they have the national TV, CGTN. They will tell you, you want anti-China? There is a chap called URS sitting in Taiwan or Singapore. His videos keep coming. So whichever subject you are researching, you will get to know after seeing the same sites 3-4 times, which is objective, which is giving both sides. You want to know Afghanistan? Dr. Ayub Mirza. वो चाय बनाते करते अपना गंदा किचन दिखाते हुए is giving you updates, ground reports, which are copied and twisted by Al Jazeera on one side, Pakistan ISI on one side. खबर किसी के पास नहीं है, इसकी खबर को घुमाते हैं. He is the root, because there is no communication out from either of the 5 places where they had attacked. The latest were the Noshki attack and the Panjgur attack. So Ayub Mirza, he writes Balochistan update 1, 2, 3. Abhi 2 days ago it was 6. Abhi 7th मैंने देखा नहीं है. Day before yesterday 6th. So you will come to know when you research, and don't read one article. Just see the sites and then evaluate them. Then save them. Have I answered your question, Rahul?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
And your friend circle, whenever you see a good site, oh, this is a good site. Whenever you see a tall claim made, Google it, because a lot of people want you to read and share. I don't share until I check. Day before yesterday, there was a BBC video that there has been a thermonuclear attack in Europe. I have that video here. So when I put it on Google, there was no, I said straight away fake. And then that fellow writes back, sir, आप ठीक सोच रहे हैं, आपने respond नहीं किया, ये fake है. And then you read the fact check, because they have doctored the video to show there's a thermonuclear video attack, and people are doing masti ki कौन इसको जल्दी से WhatsApp पे मैं पहले भेज दूं. Don't check it. Next question or takeaway, please.
Yes, Deepa beta, you can go ahead. Unmute yourself. Deepa Rathore. Are you there?
Deepa Shukla was wondering, मेरा नाम कैसे आ गया?
I think Varsha is...
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, please speak.
Continue.
ये spotlight हटा दो, please. The speaker
Okay,
spotlight.
sir, I was also asking one question. So, sir, this question is not mine, but basically this is my observation on the behalf of my friends. So, sir, basically, majority of my friends always say that...
Shubham, can you remove the speaker spotlight? Because I want to see everybody. No, if you can't, request some of your friends who have the rights.
Yes,
if I have the right, tell me, I can do it.
Sir,
Okay,
there
I
is an
put it on
option,
gallery.
gallery view. You can click
Yes,
on
I have
that.
done it. Yeah, I have done it. Okay. Yes,
Okay,
continue
so,
speaking, Deepa. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, this question is not mine, but basically this is my observation on the behalf of my friends. So this will be your answer will be very useful for my friends and the ones who are listening.
Friends के कंधे से गोली चला रही है, चलाओ. Friends के कंधे से गोली चला रही है, चलो.
Sir, this is not my problem, but this is my friends' problem. Some of them. So, sir, they
क्यों, उनकी
always say
जुबान नहीं
that.
है? 1 minute. उनकी जुबान नहीं है?
Sir, maybe they will not be here now. Like I just said, that this was in my
अच्छा,
mind.
ठीक है.
So, sir, I just want to ask that. My friends say that, Deepa, I want to speak, I want to ask, or I want to express myself, but I'm not able to. I don't have words, or I'm not that much expressive. And they also say that I feel that what would others be thinking, what they would be thinking, am I speaking right? Am I looking good? So all these things they say. So, sir, what is the solution for this? So this
Good.
is also very
First part solution is thought content, thought clarity, thought articulation. The second part, what are other people thinking? This is very genuine. यार ये मेरा ये जरा सा ऐसा है यार, वो लिपस्टिक तो 4 घंटे पहले लगाई थी, उसके बाद कॉफी भी पी ली, बिस्किट भी खा लिया, यार मैं उसको रिफ्रेश नहीं कर पाई यार, I am feeling little. The point is you are fighting your own devils. The public doesn't know. And I'll give you a very personal example. It has happened with me once. I was speaking on a physical mode 3-4 years ago, and in my hurry or whatever, when I must have gone to the washroom, my zipper got left open. I didn't know. One of the audience told some lower person who came to settle the mic, और पर्ची छोड़ गया, sir, your zipper is open. So when after 3-4 seconds I must have gone to the place and seen, so I settled it, पीछे जरा सा मुंह करके, again acrylic lecture stand, so everything is visible. So I said, I'm sorry for this obscenity, ladies and gentlemen, my fault. खत्म. इंसान हो, गलती हो जाती है. So what are other people thinking? We are all human beings. I have given you my most embarrassing mistake. हो जाता है. So what? इंसान है, गलती करेंगे. गिरता मैदान जंग में वही है जो घुड़सवार होता है. So don't worry. Firstly, you take all the precautions. I have checked that I have shaved properly. My tie is in the center. I am wearing a suitable dress which I had planned for and taken out last night. Every day I have to speak, so I keep my ties in a sequence. Because often I am speaking to the same audiences, so I change. What other people are thinking about me is their problem. My problem is I should try and minimize the gadar that I create. Like the example in I created a gadar. So I apologized. I am partly responsible for the gadar, so I apologize. And move on. भाई अगर आपके दोस्त से गलती हो गई, आप जान तो नहीं ले लोगे ना बच्चे की. So you will also move on. But हाय मेरे बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं, मेरे बाल कैसे लग रहे हैं, मेरी वॉक ठीक है कि नहीं, मेरे कपड़े वेल फिटिंग है कि नहीं, मेरी ये ड्रेस ज्यादा टाइट है या ज्यादा लूज है. It is all peripheral to your public speaking. You would have prepared to your best. जो भी आपने कर दिया है, this is your best. Now forget it. But my lipstick is not exactly matching my sari or my business suit. अरे भाई, you have done your best ना, नहीं ला पाई दूसरी, ठीक है. Now don't lose sleep over it. नहीं मेरी तो हाइट कम है, नहीं मेरा तो रंग काला है, नहीं मेरी तो अंग्रेजी कमजोर है, यार लोग हंस देंगे तो मैं क्या करूंगी. Your question is so important. That's why the first part I told you, thought content, thought clarity, thought articulation. What other people will think about me actually आपको खाता है. और शुरू में जब कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं होता, you're looking for peer group support. So please, you provide the support to your friend.
Yes.
कि देखो तुमने आज बोला, तुमने बहुत अच्छा बोला ये. अरे नहीं यार ये, अच्छा चलो, आफ्टर लंच व्हेन यू आर इन द रूम, देखो 2-3 चीजों में तुम सुधार कर सकती हो. नाउ यू आर टॉकिंग 1-to-1. शी इज इन अ कंफर्ट जोन. हाँ बता, देखो तुमने ऐसा किया था, इसको क्या ऐसा कर सकते हैं. अच्छा ठीक है, अगली बार ऐसा. सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज यू आर हेल्पिंग समबडी, सेम वे समबडी विल हेल्प यू. In one university, I used to go and stay over the night because it was a long drive from Noida. It was in Agra. I used to go to the boys' hostel and make them do this. And suddenly वो जोश बन गया 2-3 meetings में, and they started doing it. In 6 months, Hindi heartland, tier 2 college. It was engineering college, MBA college, dental college, CA college. Now it's a university. When I used to go, it was a college. The children made their groups, motivate हो गए. हाँ हम बोलेंगे सर इंग्लिश में. देखते हैं कौन हंसता है. शुरू में तो मैंने बोला you just speak within 2-3 of your friends. बाकी हंसेंगे. 2-3 friends decide in the evening I will speak like this. We will have a Zoom call where I may not be dressed formally, but I will behave formally. ठीक? Because what Deepa has raised, what will other people think? ये एक जानलेवा बीमारी है. So I hope I have been able to answer you, Deepa, and for everybody else.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please
sir.
be
Even
cooperative
so
towards your friends.
that feelings earlier, but I coped it so with practice.
Very good. Practice. Very
Thank
good.
you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Pushpa.
sir.
Yes, Varsha Bacha, please go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Am I
morning.
audible?
Continue.
Okay, my key takeaways are that when you talked about how if somebody asks us a question that we are not aware of, so how subtly we can direct the response towards the audience. That is one of the things that I really liked. And how you spoke about...
Stop. Not subtly. Openly.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. Openly. Okay, sir. And then how we have to perceive our audience as friends while speaking in public and not as rivals, because that will affect our speaking. And also practice is very essential for anything. You also talked about while speaking we have to take pauses. And there were a lot of things, but I have a question now, sir, which is very important. Whether in public speaking or even in real life, like I'm going to be an educator, I feel clarity of thought is important everywhere. But my question is how to bring that clarity of thought as an individual in myself, so that... Yes, sir.
Good question. I have been asked this. Sir, अलग से पूछेंगे. मैंने कहा नहीं, public में पूछो. Same question. The answer is one word. Introspection.
So now again I have a question.
Wait. Let me explain this one word. See, I'm showing you my mobile. When I read something, then I think about it. And then I write about it. So when I am writing for myself, my view gets clear. So what I told you about the hijab, see, this is my own group with myself, India events. I have groups for every country of the world, every region of the world with myself. I hope you all know how to create your own groups with yourself. So here is what I have written. First, see, I wrote a big thing. This is, I have sent it to myself. Then I have written this. So this thought clarity comes by thinking. What happened with me when I was in class 8? I read up all the books in one section of the library. So the librarian told me, I was his favorite because I was a voracious reader. He said, Beta, you're reading too fast. Kya, sir? Okay. What did you read in this book? I couldn't speak for 1 minute. So I said, sir, maybe you're right. I'll try and read slowly. He said, no. For every book that you issue and you read, you will please write a summary of only 1 page. अब class 8 का बच्चा 1 page में 100 शब्द भी नहीं लिख पाता है. मोटी handwriting होती है बच्चों की. You're right. What happened? I was reading to finish the book without absorbing the thought in the book. Class 8. So then developed the habit of writing a book summary. I still have, I've shown it to you. For every subject, I can show it. So the answer for thought clarity is when I read for 5 minutes. Now I am connecting the dot with something else. Everybody is talking of hijab. I am looking at national unity. I am looking at when he is saying India is a union of states, which by the way is correct. As per constitution, India is a union of states. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi is right. But the context in which it has been used, I am interpreting it regionalism and state activism versus nationalism. How? Because Chintan Manan, introspection, thinking, that allows you to connect the dots differently. After all, what is happening in everybody? You are all seeing the dots the way your textbook is giving them. That is textbook knowledge. When you internalize it and you connect the dots differently, that is when your PhD thesis is successful. What is PhD? It is plagiarism. You are reading 20, 50 different people. See, Jyoti ma'am is nodding. She is Dr. Jyoti Tiwari. So
Yes,
if I
sir.
quote one person, I am plagiarist. I quote 100.
Yes, sir. And I
then
rephrase the
I
words.
draw
Sir.
the deductions and conclusions which are unique. How do I draw deductions and conclusions which are unique? Because I'm thinking. So that answer is thinking. Now your second part of the question, Varsha. Yes.
Yes, sir. That was the question, that how to introspect.
Okay. So this is what we've spoken about. Think about it. When I'm driving, I'm putting it into words. Suddenly लगा यार ये तो बड़ा अच्छा बोल दिया मैंने. ड्राइव कर रहे हो, रिकॉर्ड बटन दबाया, रिकॉर्ड में डाल दिया उसको. एंड किस्मत ये कि जस्ट 5 minutes later, सर आपकी 1 minute की बाइट चाहिए इस विषय पे. मैंने कहा ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ, साइड में खड़ी करके दे देता हूँ. सर आप अभी दे देंगे? मैं कहा ले ले, अभी ले ले. नहीं सर रिकॉर्ड करके भेज दीजिएगा. का टाइम नहीं है. मैं ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ, साइड में खड़ी करता हूँ, तुम ऑडियो रिकॉर्डिंग ले लो, फोटो डाल देना मेरी. सर आपने एकदम से बता दिया. एकदम से ऐसे बता दिया क्योंकि पिछले 40 मिनट दिमाग में चटनी बन रही थी कि आज ये नेशनल लेवल पे ये इशू हुआ है, इसके इंटरनेशनल रैमिफिकेशंस क्या है. Like yesterday's issue is Russia, Mr. Putin has called Mr. Imran Khan to Pakistan. Why? To make a pipeline go through for Russian and Pakistani benefit. Now my mind is thinking, how should India react? Okay, next one. Otherwise, after 2 or 3, Jyoti ma'am, we can close it whenever you say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Sure,
sir.
sir. Yes, any other student? Any other student, please raise your hand.
Chat gaya sab.
Otherwise, yes, sir. Yes, Divya, Durgesh. Anyone?
कनिका तो बहुत परेशान लग रही है.
Okay, sir. Then, sir, I want to share my key takeaway, sir. Sir, I have
Lovely.
noted down the very, thank you so much, sir. Sir, I have noted down the very important fact that you have mentioned that we should divide our speech into 3 parts: must speech, could speech, and should speech. Because it happens in most of the seminars, initially they provide us the time of 10 to 15 minutes. And at the same day, they asked us to shorten it within the 5 minutes, conclude it within the 5 minutes. So that is the important fact that I will apply in my future presentations, that I will divide my speech or the presentation into 3 parts, that must speech or could and should speech. So that is a very important tip, sir, to improve the public speaking, and rest all the tips are very useful and valuable. So I hope it will help my students to improve their public speaking. And I like the fact, sir, that you mentioned that we should know about the science of public speaking, and art will know eventually with the practice. So that is a very first fact, sir, that we should know the basics. And meanwhile, with the practice, we can learn the art. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time. And on behalf of Training and Placement, sir, I want to convey my sincere gratitude and thanks to you. And apologies, sir, for not available for the practice session. I'm really
It's
very
history.
sorry, sir.
Don't forget it. All's well that ends well. And
Yes,
I think we should be thanking Shubham for his quick thinking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From Meet. No, from MS Teams we came. I logged in and somehow got logged out.
Right,
Then
sir,
we came
right.
to Meet, and then we
Yes,
came
sir.
to Zoom. And all the students have been very cooperative. They were able
Right.
to re-log in. अरे यार ये क्या मुसीबत है, वो मुंह फुला के कोई बैठ जाता है. But here I found that responses, and therefore Shubham, kudos to you. He has worked in what is called a
Right,
VUCA
sir.
world. I won't take
Right.
more time. VUCA, VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. Google it. It's a very interesting study. That's it. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you so much, Shubham, for all your cooperation and
Thank you, ma'am.
support. And thank you so much,
Excuse
dear
me, ma'am.
participants, for
Excuse me, ma'am.
patiently. Yes, Beta, you
Thank you,
want to add
ma'am.
something?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Actually, my mic is not working.
Okay,
So,
okay. Please go ahead.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful and splendid session. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for your interactive session. So my key takeaways are, first of all, know your audience and their knowledge and language capabilities. Second is have proper body posture, tone, and expression. And my final key takeaway is make your content and knowledge ready in advance so that you can't hustle in last moment. Sir, my question is to you is that, so when we are delivering a speech in front of special need children, so in that case, what
In
point
front
we
of?
take special need children, sir?
Okay.
So what points we must keep in our mind when we are delivering the speech in front of them?
So firstly, I'm sure you're aware that education for special need children is a specialized branch of study. I have my batchmate's wife who is a specialist on it, so I know. So which age and stage of training are you talking about? One, and what kind of special needs are you talking about? Two, are the two factors which will determine what variants are there. For example, if there are autistic children, made popular by the movie Tare Zameen Par, their training needs are different. If you have a child with special needs, think of Krish, Hrithik Roshan as Krish, a super brilliant genius child. The needs are different. But when we talk of special needs, not in the medical way, in your class, there will be some children who are exceptionally quick on the uptake. आप सेंटेंस बोलो, पैराग्राफ समझ में आता है उनके. एक तो होमवर्क करके आए, मम्मी ने दबा के पढ़ाया हुआ है. It becomes a problem. आप उनको एडिशन सिखा रहे हो, उसको एडिशन सब्ट्रैक्शन दोनों मालूम है. आप मल्टीप्लिकेशन पे पहुंचने वाले हो, उसको मल्टीप्लिकेशन और डिवीजन दोनों मालूम है. ऐसे होते हैं बच्चे. At the other end of the spectrum is the lower one. So average schools go by a medium, the average. You understand mean, median, mode. The better schools, where the class strengths are lower, 30 and below, normally 25 and below. There they allow a child to do the workbooks based on his or her ability. So I've answered your question in two ways, Ritika. One is the medical aspect of children with special needs. Which disease, what special need, what disability, what challenge, and secondly, which stage of education. And why did this batchmate's daughter, batchmate's wife take on this area? Because their own son was like this. That son is now 30 years old and he's got a job in America and he's an American citizen. And because that child had special needs, she said, "Yaar, kaun padhayega?" So normal school, India, and she started learning and then she did her certifications in teaching. So teaching children with special needs is a specialized subject based on these two parameters. Yet in your normal class, there are children with special needs, both at the upper intelligent level and at the lower level. They have to be handled. And here, I don't want to show you the slide, it's too much time. In psychology, you will have in your MEd, at least it's there, behavioral psychology for teachers. there is a core personality of a person. And over the core personality is the behavior. So you never criticize the core personality. तेरे को समझ नहीं आता है, 10 बार समझा दिया ये बेवकूफ कहीं का. Idiot. What have you done? Bevkoof kahin ka and idiot are hitting the core personality of that bacha. What should you do? Outside the core personality is the behavior. So the lesson is core personality, never a negative stroke. In psychology, we call it stroke. ये गलत बोलना या अच्छा बोलना to make you feel happy or bad, that what I'm doing is giving you a stroke. Hi, good morning. Oh, these are strokes. This transaction is a stroke. But to the outside personality, you must give a positive or negative stroke as desired. Remember, a negative stroke sometimes should be given in private, where you are not robbing the child of social peer group esteem. And don't say, मुझे बाद में मिलना मैं बताऊंगी. धमकी पे नहीं. As you're leaving the class, वो बच्चा निकल रहा है, अरे यार तुमको ये बताना था, और धीरे से उसको बता दिया. मैम ने ऐसे बताया, मेरी बिल्कुल बेइज्जती नहीं हुई. मैम अच्छी मैम है. Now what do you say to the child when you hit the personality? बच्चा 10 बार में नहीं सीख रहा है. Beta, we have done this in class repeatedly. And your intelligence is not low. He may not be the highest, so you don't say तुम्हारी intelligence अच्छी है. You are saying your intelligence is not low. थोड़ी अगर मेहनत से इसको सोचेंगे तो ये समझ में आता है. चलो जरा सा सोचो इसके बारे में, ये समझ में आता है. नहीं तो बार बार क्लास में आप ऐसे पूछते हैं तो बाकी बच्चे आपके बारे में क्या सोचेंगे. सो बेटर इट इज कि तुम इसको सोचो, और जहां डाउट होता है, घर पे हो तो मम्मा से, और स्कूल में हो तो मुझसे पूछ लो, डिपेंडिंग ऑन विच क्लास द चाइल्ड इज. What am I doing? I am addressing the behavior of the child, that the child is not doing introspection on the topic. What is homework meant for? To force the child to revisit the subject and think about the subject. Not to palm off the school की पढ़ाई, teacher की जिम्मेवारी, to घर की पढ़ाई and मम्मी की जिम्मेवारी. So this is the way you handle children with special needs, medical and normal top flyers and bottom benchers, last benchers in the class. Have I answered your question, Ritika?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your patience.
It is now getting on to 12 o'clock and
Yes,
children
sir,
must
yes.
be now ready for lunch also.
Lunch, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So thank you so
Okay.
much, sir, for your valuable time.
Thank
And
you. I have written a Jai Hind and we end.
yes, sir. Thank you.